What is going on? 208, welcome. Justin, it's good to see you. We're back this Sunday, a little later than we wanted to be, but that's okay. We're here and that's all that matters. It is National French Fry Day, and we got a lot to talk about in the NFC East breakdown. And there's some key stuff we want you guys to understand. So grab your French fries, grab your fry sauce, file on in, hit the subscribe button, and let's get rolling right now. Justin, how we doing, my good friend?
Good. We were just at a birthday party, so that was a good time. My birthday's tomorrow, so we have some people coming in tomorrow, so that'll be a good time. So if you want to give me a birthday present, just subscribe to the channel, give us some comments today, let us talk a little bit about football. That could be my birthday gift from you guys.
Well, love it. Well, I know I won't see you tomorrow, so happy early birthday.
Thank you.
Man, I will tell you what, lots of sun in my week this week. We got more next week. We had some passing league stuff going on, 7-on-7s, tons of sunshine out here in the West for us. More camp stuff next week, so I'm going to be in the sun a lot and been working on our pool. Not a fancy pool by any stretch, but oh man, lots and lots of work. So that's okay. We've got a ton to talk about. We're going to jump into news right now. Justin, give us our
What's
news.
going on?
So I feel like this news this week was all aimed at Matt to make Matt really mad. Just all the stuff that I got. So J.K. Dobbins, we'll talk about J.K. real quick because we're gonna put some water on the R.J. Harvey hype. So there's already Twitter reports coming out that J.K.'s already the starter, which is somewhat concerning since he's only been there for maybe a month and a half. That's a little stressful. Like I've said before, that broken backfield is really scary to me. Another report came out that Jahmyr Gibbs, I feel like we hear this every year with him, that he is getting looks out wide in the slot, a little bit more action on the outside, which I think that's what the Lions should do. They should basically have probably 70% of the time David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs should be out there together. That's just totally my opinion. Some awful news. Quentin Judkins gets arrested for domestic violence. Again, not going to talk much about it. Case is still out there. We don't really know the details, just that he was arrested Saturday. I don't know if that bumps up Ford or Hampton. No, Samson. There we go. I don't know which one. I think I'd bet more on Jerome Ford, just if he's out there on your waiver wire. I don't think he's a bad pickup right now in Dynasty. If you go pick him, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Judkins. On top of that, to kind of compound that issue is Trey Harris, who is one of Matt's guys as well. He's been he's not the only one. So there's only been two guys that have signed their rookie deals that were drafted in the second round. This is because Jane Higgins of the Texans signed a contract that was fully guaranteed. So now all the GMs are kind of biting back a little bit, saying we're not going to fully guarantee any contract. This is the first time a fully guaranteed contract has been given out to second round picks. So there are 30 right now unsigned second-round draft picks. So you see a bunch of guys holding out, and Judkins happens to be one of those second-round guys that, again, loses a little bit of leverage due to the incident that happened to him. So,
Yeah, and sometimes the NFL tends to move a little slow. So Justin's right. Just be patient. Let's see what happens. It's still early. I mean, we're still waiting on the Rashee Rice stuff to come through. So, and that's been a minute. So we'll see how that goes. But I do like that. And I think it's fair to talk a little bit about our running back fan, at least one of my favorites in Denver. I know J.K. Dobbins is going to be, but I still think our guy has still got some value. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
that backfield scares the crap out of me. I got off JK as fast as I could. Right when that news happened, I traded him for a second and third. I just don't love either one. I'm just kind of out on it. RJ Harvey was a very late breakout guy as a rookie at UCF. So I'm kind of out on that backfield. Again, at cost right now.
Yeah, for sure. Harvey was selected in the second round, and be mindful, they went out and got him. So you look at this a couple of different ways. Sean Payton, Denver wanted him. They wouldn't get him in the second round. He was really a draft grade of a late 3, 4th round guy. So they knew they weren't going to get one of the top running backs. So they wanted at least, who they really wanted was our Boise State guy, which whatever. But they weren't going to get him. So they kind of used their second round pick on him. So
Yeah.
anyway, anything else on the news for that, Justin?
Nope, that's all I got. It's just a lot of interesting stuff with this second round pick. A couple camps open next week, so it'll be interesting if they start to push these deals through. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so we're going to jump right into our NFC East breakdown. We want you guys to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. More than anything else, hit the like button, leave a comment, interact with us. We love having you guys just jump on, ask questions. We'll give you our take on it. We are not perfect, nor do we tend to be perfect. We just like talking ball, and we love fantasy football and want you to win your leagues. So love the discussion. That's what this is all about. So file on in, leave a comment, and let's jump into our NFC East breakdown. Washington Eagles, Cowboys, and Giants. Right out of the gate, we're going to jump to the Giants. Last year they were 3-14, horrible season. And we kind of knew that was going to happen. They just were all over the mat, all over the place. The only bright spot was Neighbors, which we'll talk about. Justin, you have them projected as a 5-12 team. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, just a young team. Again, they don't have an answer at quarterback right now. At least in my eyes, they have three dudes that probably will play this year. I do like the addition of Javon Holland to their secondary. Again, they were really bad last year. They got to figure out the quarterback position, and that's a really tough position for them. They got to figure out their O-line, which has been really, really, really bad in the past couple of years. They invested a really high pick in Evan Neal. Sorry, Andrew Thomas is of Evan Neal is the one that's had really tough time at tackle. They're moving him guard. We'll see if that happens. But it's just hard to invest in a top 6 pick, I believe, and offensive line to him to just kind of crap the bed.
Yep, that is tough. That is definition of a bust in my mind. So I agree with you. It's going to be a long season for them. I do think they're going to win a couple games that are going to surprise some people. But maybe they get one against Washington, or they get one against Dallas. So we'll see. Moving into really what we got going here for positions, right? So you guys know the drill for sure. So these are rankings, and ADPs are from our friends over at Fantasy Pros. And so we've got QBs, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. This is based on ESPN's starting lineup, right? We know all this stuff could change at any time. We are just kind of going with the day to day. Right out of the gate, QB, Russell Wilson, position rank 30, 185 ADP, 16th round. You can pick him up. Justin, give me your thoughts on Russell Wilson. They bring in Jameis Winston. They draft Jackson Dart. Do you want any part of this quarterback situation with the Giants?
No, not at all. I don't want anyone. I love Jackson Dart, and I feel like I'm kind of having deja vu. It feels like the Giants are the Titans for me last year. Where I'm like, oh man, I'm excited to see this offense. They got Calvin Ridley, they got Will Levis, who was awful last year. They got some interesting pieces like the Tyrone Tracy, Cam Scadaboo. Is it going to be the Tony Pollard, Taji Spear kind of thing? They got, I don't know. It's just weird. I wouldn't draft in these quarterbacks. I don't know if I believe it or want to for Malik Neighbors' betterment. I think Jackson Dart is a dude. He was really good at Ole Miss running with Lane Kiffin. His last year, he threw for 4,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 6 INTs. He's mobile. He can run around a little bit. I just hope he can be something. He almost ran for 500 yards last year in a college offense where they count sacks as rushing yards. He's an athletic dude. I hope he gets a chance. I really don't want to see Russell Wilson play football ever again because I just don't think he's that good. Jameis Winston is a really good backup. I totally get it. But that's where I'm at. I wouldn't draft any of these quarterbacks at all.
Yeah, I agree with you, Justin. I feel like this is going to be a carousel all season long. Does Russell stay healthy? They bring in Jameis. He does terrible. Jackson Dart gets a chance. They are kind of all the three. They're all three of kind of the same quarterback, just different eras. I know Russell and Jameis are really not that far apart, but they all are gunslingers in my mind. So I think they will target Neighbors a lot. I just can't count on any of them. I'm staying away from all three. Maybe if something happens and one's tearing it up, there's a waiver wire, which we talked about. But as a fantasy draft right out of the gate, I'm staying away. So Moving on to running backs, interesting setup. So Tyrone Tracy, Cam Scadaboo are both position ranked 31 and 33. ADP is 83 and 95, and really only one round apart in the seventh and eighth round. So it's really wild here. You're like, wow, I, okay? So a lot of drafters right now, which isn't a ton, or just reviewers, you want to say it, are saying these two are very, very similar. Justin, who would you rather have out of this backfield?
I don't know because they feel kind of similar. Like it feels like they both should be just passing game backs. Like I get Scadaboo, like he had a run, all that stuff. I was never super high on him when it came to draft season. There was a bunch of other backs that I liked more. I don't love these guys, and it's not just because of their talent. Like Tyler Tracy was a revelation. Like he was a really good waiver wire pickup for me. If you could have got off him this year, I strongly suggest trading away him. I just feel like it's going to be back and forth again. The offensive line, again, is just another big issue for me. They didn't sign anybody new. They're kind of running it back with the same guys, which scares the crap out of me. I think Daboll is on his last legs here if he doesn't kind of pull it out here.
Yeah, and just for reference here, so Tracy was decent, average 4 yards a carry, but 192 carries, 839 yards, and only 5 TDs. The offense in general was not very good. So I'm with Justin. I think it's for me worth taking a flyer on Scadaboo if I can get him later than 8. I'm okay with it. Again, I just don't know if I like. I think there's other running backs that are better later rounds that we can get. Let me see if I can pull up here just for you, Justin.
Gosh, this is gonna be rough. I did a mock draft today, and I had so much fun with it. The strategy me and Matt were talking about last week. Holy crap! I got Jahmyr Gibbs, Ashton Jeanty, Trey McBride, and Marvin Harrison. That was my first 4, and I was like, "All right, here we go, baby." So let's hear some more draft.
If questions. I can find, I need to get to the right. Let me get here. Let me pull up. So they're really, really close. So I'm not going to talk about either one of them, just guys around them, okay? Would you rather have Najee Harris or either one of these?
Probably Najee.
Yeah. And I think, and so look, J.K. Dobbins or either one of these?
J.K.
Yeah, so I'm just going to leave it at that. You can get both those guys right around the same area. So I hope Scadaboo falls. I would take him, but I would rather have those other players. I hope that makes sense for everybody. Just kind of keep in mind where you're at. It's like, but they're not values here. They're too high.
100%.
Moving on to wide receivers, I'm going to kind of start backwards here. You have Slayton, 75th, 214th, 18th round. Wan'Dale Robinson, 66, 172, 15th round. I kind of don't care about either one of those. It's Malik Neighbors is what we need to talk about. His position ranked 5. His ADP is 11, so that puts him in the first round, end of round 1. He led. Sorry, let me repeat. He was behind Jamar Chase with only 5 targets less last year, and he missed games. So really, the whole offense went through Malik Neighbors. I mean, we knew he was going to do. If you listened to our channel last year, he was going to ball out, and he certainly did. I think he finished 7th in half-point PPR standings last year. Justin, given this quarterback carousel, what they brought in and who they got rid of, do you still like Malik Neighbors at this value?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. Again, we had this conversation last week a little bit about me maybe going out there and get a Jamar Chase for Malik. Because it scares crap out of me that Malik's going to be like a Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave type. But man, he might be quarterback proof. Like, those numbers are scary to put up in that bad of an offense. Like, when Matt said like he was second in targets and he missed 2 games. Like, if he gets 5 targets there or whatever on both games, like he has a ton. Like, he's a target monster. I think he is in that same realm as Jamar and Justin Jefferson, where he can really he can be quarterback proof, and if he gets a quarterback, holy crap, he's going to be scary. I really hope Jackson Dart is that for him. And just feed him. He is a 3-level wide receiver. He's explosive as all heck. Like he's just a bad dude. I don't know what to say. Like if he's at the 11th spot, which is at that turn, I think you got to take him there, just because he's going to be a consistent guy. You can't miss on those first round draft picks, which is something really really important. Can't miss on those. Those are super important. So with Wendell, he had a really good year last year. Again, just a target hog. That's why me and Matt, I think, both like Josh Downs a little bit, because I think he will have that Wendell Robinson role with Daniel Jones. But yeah, Malik Neighbors at the 11, where you can get that turn, especially in a 12 team. I think he's such a pillar, and he's a guy that you have to hang on to, especially at the 11 round. I think he's a really good. He's an easy pick. He should finish top 5 at wide receiver.
Yeah, I guess the only knock on him a little bit is he only had 1,200 yards. He finished 7th, but even in the first round, that's great. He's going to be a wide receiver 1. We hope those yards go up, and we hope the TDs, which were 7, which I'd love to see him in double-digit touchdowns. At the back end would be awesome. He would climb up a little bit, getting your fantasy draft value. But the Giants scare me. I will be honest. I almost would rather have London over Neighbors. That call me crazy. That offense is better. I don't know. I guess I'm not. I guess I'm okay with taking him, but I would rather have. Let me pull it up real fast. Let's pull that back end again, Justin, like we did last time.
Yeah, I mean Malik. The crazy thing is Malik and Jamar Chase are the same exact size. Like they're the same exact wide receiver.
Yes.
Again, what Matt alluded to is not a Malik Neighbors problem. It is a quarterback problem. He can torch every level of the field. The quarterback has to just give him a shot to do that. So
Yeah. So if he falls, I see him going early as 7, but if we have him at 11, I mean, do you want Brian Thomas Jr.? Would you rather grab not HN, but Drake London there?
yeah,
Are we splitting hairs?
yeah, you're splitting hairs there.
I agree.
I know what Malik Neighbors is. Like in full PPR, I think that's the splitting hairs for me. If it's full PPR, I'm taking Malik Neighbors because he's going to catch a ton of balls. If it's half standard, it's probably Drake. It's probably Brian Thomas a little bit because they just have a better situation.
I agree. We talked about the rest of wide receivers. We're not necessarily big on, so we're going to skip those two. Theo Johnson, I'm intrigued a little bit about. And I'm going to let you talk about him, but he's currently position ranked 32 at 10 in their ADP, and you can get him in the late rounds, 18th round currently, and probably he'll go undrafted in a lot of leagues. So, Justin, give me your thoughts on Theo.
Man, Theo Johnson, man, Penn State guy. If you get drafted at Penn State, you're a freak. Like, look at Michael Parsons this year, like Saquon, like those guys. I don't know. They just built in the lab. He's 6'6", 264. I'm pretty sure he ran a sub 4.6 40. He's a high weight freak. It felt like it'd take him a while to get going a little bit. Their depth chart was a little wonky because last year I thought they were really gonna run Dallin Bellinger as their number 1, but it seems like Theo really supplanted him. He was a 4th round draft pick in 2024. Again, there's not a lot of options. They did give Darius Slayton some money. Wendell showed out a little bit. Jalen Hyatt was a guy that I thought would pop more out of Tennessee last year, or 2 years ago, so I should say. But they just have it. Again, I don't know who's going to come out as the number 2. I think Theo's going to be like our Gesicki, our Hunter Henry. Like when we talk about waivers, he's going to be kind of that guy for right now until he makes that jump, which I hope he does because he's a specimen.
Yeah, I would add if Dart for some reason ends up in there, tight ends are good for rookie quarterbacks. So,
yep.
Moving on, let's get to our Cowboys. Again, they missed the playoffs, 7-10. Very disappointing season for the Cowboys last year. Justin, you have them a very disappointing 5-12. I think there's a lot of people that might disagree with you. I'm very intrigued. They did pick up Pickens. Let us have it. What are your thoughts?
I don't think Schottenheimer is a good coach. I felt like it was a really, really weird hire, and it felt like they just did it because no one else, or they didn't want to hire anybody else. I don't know if he's a good coach. I didn't think their offense was that great last year. Again, this prediction can totally fall flat on its face because I like this roster a lot. Like from the offensive line They got 2 studs at wide receiver. They got a good tight end. I still think Dak is that guy. Their defense, they still got one of the best guys in the league in Micah. Their linebacker core is a little underrated. Trayvon Diggs is still that guy. But like they're not terrible, but like I just do not trust this coaching staff to be able to push the talent that they have to more than what they are. They have a decent or a very young O line, I should say that. They have a lot of young guys. They drafted Tyler Booker out of Alabama this year. Terrence Still was decent. Titan took some real big lumps, and then Tyler Smith might be one of the best guards in the NFL right now. And then the Cooper BB out of Kansas State did really well as a rookie last year too. But like, this division's rough. I just don't know how many games they're going to steal.
Yeah, so they're tied for 5th in strength of schedule. So they don't have a cakewalk. It's tough, right? And you just nailed it. Their schedule is going to be brutal. They're going to have to pull out some wins. I think we'll see the ball thrown a lot, which kind of takes me into our next. We'll just jump right into it. This offense. I think we're going to see some shootouts. So starting with Dak Prescott, his position rank is 12, ADP 91. You can get him in the 8th round. They did bring in Joe Milton. Dak is, twilight of his career. I don't know how old is Dak? I can't remember. I think he is
31.
He is 31 and about to turn 32. So 729. Or did he just? No, yep, he's about to turn 32. Had some injuries. What are your thoughts on Dak this year? Bringing in Pickens, helping out Lamb. Is he a guy that is better than 12 out of these ADPs or position ranks?
He is my target at quarterback late round right now. That's my guy right now. He's just weird. Like he has a weird pattern of like really good, really bad, really good, really bad, really good, really bad. Like it's like middle of the pack, really good. Like he has multiple top 10 finishes, a 2, a 3, a 7, 8, but then he has an 18, a 32, 31, and that's because of injuries for the most part. But I still think Dak's that guy. They brought in George Pickens, who should be good. I don't know if he will be, but CeeDee Lamb is still that guy. Again, Dak can still run a little bit, not as much as he used to, but I think we'll take it. He still runs for about 200 yards about every year. But man, he throws touchdowns at a high clip when he gets those high ones. It's usually 36, 37, 30. Those are the type of numbers we need from him, especially Jake Ferguson, George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb. That's a really good trio for him to lean on.
So just for giggles, and if you like this sort of thing, when Dak plays in odd years, he does very, very well. When you start looking at it, you're like, oh, is that something? I don't know. It's an odd year. If you play fantasy football, maybe you have superstitions. But I'm with you, Justin. I think he could be a top 6 quarterback by the end of the season. He is definitely value at 91, 8th round if you're going to sit on quarterback. Maybe you pick an early quarterback and you want a really good second one, because you always take 2. Dak is your guy. Or if you want to hold, Dak is your guy. I really like what they're doing, at least for his passing game, and he's more than capable even at 32 years old. Moving on to running back, I have Williams and Sanders up here. Javonte, 41, 128, get him in the 11th round, and Miles Sanders, 62, 209, and 18th round. I left off Blue for now because we'll talk about him just briefly, but Javonte comes over from Denver, right? And again, Dallas hasn't really addressed the running back situation, really, honestly, since Zeke, right? So, and I know at least Chance was big on Javonte. Give me your thoughts. Can he turn it back around? Does he have a little juice he can figure out from coming back from that nasty injury?
I take Javonte every mock draft that I have. I can't get off him. He's a guy that I cannot quit. He's kind of like J.K. Dobbins, but I finally got off J.K. Dobbins. He's 2 years finally removed from that ACL injury, which I think now he says like 18 months is what you're looking at for a real heel. Again, this O-line was built to run the ball. They got a bunch of big dudes on front. They got Guyton, they got Tyler Smith, Cooper Beebe, Tyler Booker, who's huge from Alabama, Terrence Still. Like they got some big dudes up front. I think they're gonna run the ball. I think I kind of disagree with Matt. I think this is gonna be very much a run first team. Besides CD, I think he'll get his, but I think they're going to lean on Javonte. Jane Blue is interesting. Again, Matt talked about that. Javonte and Miles Sanders got the same contract. Miles Sanders looked like a shell of himself after he left the Eagles. He had one good year with the Eagles and then kind of crapped the bed with Carolina. So I think this is a really good gamble. This is not that he's Christian McCaffrey, but it's kind of that same gamble. Whether he's going to pay off, and you're like, sweet, I have a running back 2 that I got in the 11th round, or hey, Javonte's not the starter, I'm just going to cut him. Like, it's not that much spending that 11th round pick on a starting running back.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Justin, I agree with you. I think they'll run the ball as well. I just like the upside of passing, but here nor there. We'll talk about that in a second. Javonte Williams is interesting. How old do you think he is?
He's 25, 26, right? Right around there. He was
Correct,
young when he came
25.
in.
Yeah, and that's my point. He feels like he should be 28. It just feels like he's been in the league a long, long time. So actually, Miles Sanders is 28. Javonte is 25. There is opportunity. 11th round isn't bad. I would be okay with you taking a shot on Javonte as your third or fourth running back there. Not a big deal. Sanders is interesting. Justin nailed it. Just to understand that Sanders has never been great. Just when he was with the Eagles, that line was like we all could run behind that line. It was so good, and it's been one of the best O lines in the NFL for a long time. So
It was
keep
like
that
it
in
was a
mind.
great line, and it was his contract year. Like those things are questionable.
Yeah.
Like he ran hard because he wanted to get paid, and then fell off.
Yep, and fell off a little bit. So I'm still okay on Sanders too. I think he's got a little bit of juice in there. An 18th round super late flyer is okay, but your probably best bet is Javonte. Blue to me is a 21-year-old just coming in the league. I'm not there yet on him. I know he's explosive. It's more of a wait for me on him. So
He's
Justin, I see you nodding your head. Yeah,
victim weight.
CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Tolbert. So we'll go through this fairly quickly. CeeDee Lamb is position rate 3, 5 in the ADP. You got to get him in the first round. Pickens is 30, 57, and you got to pick him in the 5th round. Tolbert, 92, 232, and you get him late 20th. Obviously, the two we're talking about is CD and Pickens. Pickens coming over from a trade from the Steelers. And I tell you what, I love this pairing. They are two completely different wide receivers that just now cover the field. Pickens being that down the field, stretching it on the boundary or the field, down the sideline, and Lamb running everything over the middle. Middle verts, if you want to call it that too. And so there's lanes everywhere. If Pickens can keep it together, it will help CeeDee Lamb potentially be the number 1 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, I totally agree. When CD plays 17 games, he's a top 6 wide. He's a top 6 wide receiver. He played 2 less games last year and he finished as the 8 like the year before. So 2023 was very similar to Jamar Chase last year. Like it was pretty much identical. He had 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns. Like Matt said, like they complement each other so well. It's just can George Pickens keep his crazy train together? Because if he can, like the Cowboys are going to look really dumb for not extending him. They didn't extend him. I think that's a little bit of a red flag for me. They didn't extend him. This is his last year on his rookie deal. They did give up a 3rd and a 5th, with a decent amount of draft capital to give up for a wide receiver going into his last year. So again, the pairing on paper looks really, really good. But like that's why I kind of predict that 5 and 12. I don't know if the pieces are going to mesh. It's just a tough situation. So.
Yeah, and that's again. I think that's where I disagree a little bit. I think they're going to be phenomenal. I wanted to look at last year. So both of them had about the same amount of target. No, that's not true. Lamb had a little more targets, 152 versus like 105 or something like that for Pickens. I still think there's plenty to go around. The number 3 will fall off. Tolbert's number may fall off a little bit, which is fine. He's not really draftable anyway. So these two guys are the guys you're going after. I do want to talk about Ferguson a little bit. Ferguson is current position rate 16, 148, and 13. Ferguson gets forgot about a lot.
Yep.
And I know his value might drop, but the last few years he's done fairly well. He's been a top 12 tight end. And now I think the worry is Pickens comes in and it's CeeDee Lamb and we're just going to throw to those two guys. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. I think Ferguson will get his still, but Tolbert's drops off. I still like Ferguson a lot. I wanted to quote Ferguson's stats from last year. I have it up here. Just a second. And I will tell you. he he has been a sleeper of mine for a long time. He had no touchdowns last year, 86 targets for 494 yards. But if he shootouts, I like it. I like it. I think he can. I still think he can score a couple touchdowns. The year before, he had 5 touchdowns for 102 targets, but I think there were some injuries at wide receiver. But I still like Ferguson as a late flyer. 13th round is fine. I am curious though, Justin. Let's see. He is 148. I want to see who's around him.
So as Matt looks that up, so Schoonmaker does make me a little hesitant on Ferguson. They did invest a second round pick. Ferguson had 4 fumbles last year, which was kind of weird. So it'll be interesting to see how they use those two. Schoonmaker's out of Michigan, so it'll be kind of interesting if they do use 2 tight end sets.
So I'll give you a couple. So right before Ferguson, Loveland's going. Our guy Colson Loveland's going, which may not be the starter right away. So I think I'd rather have Ferguson at that point. But behind him here, I'm like, oh gosh, maybe I'm kind of holding here. But Isaiah Likely over Ferguson.
Likely.
Yep. And what about your boy Kyle Pitts? He is going behind Ferguson.
Okay, when we get to next week, guys, and we talk about my Falcons, I know I'm delusional, but like, Kyle Pitts has been hanging out with Michael Penix a lot. They go to a lot of Atlanta Hawks games this year, like after the season. Like they're spending a lot of time together. I don't know. He's a tough one, but we'll talk about him next week.
So for all you guys watching, he's going to say Kyle Pitts. Okay. Moving on to our next team, the Commanders.
There we go.
What a breakout year for them last year. I mean, Jaden Daniels surprised a lot of people. Unless you were watching our channel, we told you that we like Jaden Daniels. They go 12-5, end up the 6th seed, lost to the Eagles in the NFC title game. Justin, you have them really close to last year at 11-6. Tell me your thoughts.
I think they're going to win this division. I could see them winning more than this. Like, Jaden Daniels is that dude. He is very reminiscent to Lamar for me. When Lamar came in the league, I'm like, dude, I don't know if anybody can stop this dude. Like, he's different. I think he throws the ball better than Lamar. He's just so slender. Yeah. That's the only thing that, like, it's like RG3 back in the day where I was like, man, dude, RG3 is nasty. Like, I don't want him to get hurt. Like, I just want him to be healthy and, like, keep playing. Like, he's just a fun player to watch. They invested in the O-line. They get Tunsil from Houston. Probably he was already voted by the GMs as a top 10 tackle, not just left or right, but overall tackle. That means they get to move Brandon Coleman, their left tackle from last year, into guard, which he did halfway decent at tackle. So you expect him to do better at guard. Sam Cosmi is injured, so they'll probably just put Nick Arletti from Kansas City there. Andrew Wiley's there. They added Deebo Samuel, who Matt loves a lot, so I'm sure he'll get the chance to talk about him. Added Javon Kinlaw to their defense, Dietrich Wise, Jonathan Jones, Will Harris, which I like. But yeah, I don't see any reason for them to step back. Their defense should continue to get better with Dan Quinn back there too.
Yeah, agreed. I like it. I think they win the division, and they may even be one better than last year. Maybe they're 13-4. Yeah. We'll see. I really do like it. I think they could really. It would not surprise me if they go to the Super Bowl this year. Hands down, Cliff Kingsbury has done a phenomenal job. So let's get into their offense a little bit and see what they got. Jaden Daniels, which we already talked about. Position rank 3, ADP is 28. Got to get him in the 3rd round. Is that too high for you, Justin, to take a quarterback in our drafts?
Nope. Obviously, you want to target. I think realistically for me, it's the big 3. I think a lot of people say like big 4, big 5, but it's realistically for me, it's probably big 3 if they fall. It's Jaden, Lamar, and Josh for me. I think those are the 3 big guys. I've seen Joe Burrow. I've seen Jalen Hurts included in that top 5, however you want to see it. But I think those big 3 are kind of a tier break, and then it goes down to those next 2. Jaden Daniels going to give you a ton of yards on the ground. He's going to sling the rock around. He's just really good at what he does. I don't know how defensive coordinators game plan against him because you can't play man against you, and he'll cut you with 1,000 cuts in zone. So he's that dude.
I like him a lot. So don't get me wrong here. I just want to be mindful. Last year we got him a tremendous value, right? He finishes QB5 last year. Awesome. You got him way later than that. Now you're paying for a 3rd round, right? You're paying third round value, end of 3, middle of 3, whatever that looks like, and you really need to him to finish as a top 3. Right? That's really what you're hoping for, that he can do that. And it's very, very capable of doing that. Just be mindful you're not getting the value. We talk a lot about value on this channel. You got to get value. We just spoke about Dak Prescott being super late, being potential 6. That's kind of what Daniels was last year. So I'm okay with it, with taking him in the third if you're building your structure, but just understand that you're not getting the same value as you got last year.
Yeah, he almost had 1,000 yards rushing, which is absurd. I think he'll throw the ball a little bit more. Just don't be so scared of him because of the CJ Stroud thing. He has a much higher floor than CJ just because he runs the crap out of the ball. So just be aware of that.
Agreed. I kind of want to talk about this running back room a little bit. They didn't address it. They didn't do anything with it. They brought everybody back. So we have Eckler, 48 is position ranked, 153, 13th round, and really the starter is Brian Robinson Jr., position ranked 30, 89, and you can get him in the 8th round. Yeah, yes, no?
I like Eckler in PPR, FPPR, Brian Robinson in standard. I think that's kind of my differentiation between those two. Don't forget about our boy Jerry McNichols. He did really well. I think these running backs just all complement each other really well. I don't think anybody's going to get the lion's share. I don't think it's going to be realistically, it's probably be 20, 40, 40. Let Brian Robinson get in the early work. I think McNichols will get some run. Austin Eckler will catch the ball a lot. I think they just use these running backs really well. And again, it's bad for fantasy, but it's really good football. They keep them all fresh. They give them enough touches. So that's where I'm kind of at. I don't think I'll draft really any 3 of these guys. It's not guys that I target a lot. So
yeah, I was just looking at touchdown totals because their running back stats are kind of the same. I think Brian Robinson maybe had 800 yards, Eckler had 400 yards, and McNichols had 200 some yards, and they all had about the same amount of touchdowns. So 4, 4, and 8 with Brian Robinson leading the way. So I agree with you, Justin. I don't think there's a really to be had here. Anybody to have, maybe Brian Robinson Jr., but I don't even want him in the 8th. I'd rather have some other players.
Just keep in mind, that's 2,400 yards rushing this offense had with Jayden Daniels put it. That's a lot of rushing yards. But you have to keep there's a definite ceiling on all 3 of them just because Jayden Daniels is going to take a lot of that rushing work and he's going to take some touchdowns. I mean, he had 6 rushing touchdowns. He's going to take a lot of work from there. So it's not a ceiling play. It's very much a floor play. They're probably going to win a lot of games. But they're probably going to run the ball a little bit.
Let me give you would you rather have, it's kind of a stretch here a little bit.
I feel like this is a question for you, Matt. Would you rather have him or Trey McBride?
I'd rather have McBride.
Okay, it's no question, right?
Yeah, I thought this was a trick question for a second. I was like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah,
that's realistically, 3rd round should be your McBride pick. So any questions about a guy going to the 3rd round for us at least is McBride because I think that's our 3rd round target. I think our 4th round target is MHJ. It's going to be them versus him. So that's kind of a tough thing. Trey McBride is such a value, but again, if he's gone, I don't think Jayden Daniels is a totally bad competition.
Let me back up just for the Brian Robinson Jr. Would you rather have Pacheco or Brian Robinson Jr.?
Pacheco. I like Pacheco a lot this year.
And I'll go even a little bit deeper. Would you rather have Tyrone Tracy or Brian Thomas Jr. or Brian Thomas Jr.? Robinson Jr.
Robinson.
Okay, yeah. No, she goes later. So what I'm trying to get at is you see the value in those guys versus where Brian's at. So understand where that is. Wide receivers, McLaurin, I think he got paid. Did he get paid on his contract? Not yet. So
he's still holding out.
Yep. So understand that sometimes holding out is a bad thing. Put that in your pocket. It can be a very bad thing. We saw that with other players last year.
Ayuk, very similar to Ayuk situation.
Yep. And McLaurin is older. So McLaurin, 18, 36, got to pay a 3rd round price for him. Deebo Samuel is 40, who was traded over to from the 49ers. 40, 75, pick him up in the seventh. I didn't put Noah Brown on here because of his injury, but I did put Jalen Lane, the rookie. There's some stuff coming out of camp. They kind of draft him as a returner, but I'm telling you, this kid can play wide receiver. I'm not saying draft him. I'm saying put him on your list for maybe, potentially, we get a holdout for McLaurin. We get, and he slides in, right? You never know in the NFL. It's next man up. So keep that in the back of your mind. I think it's really, really important. Um, I do want to talk about McLaurin in his third round. We just kind of talked about Trey McBride. Are you interested in McLaurin in the third?
No, I just felt like Terry's year was such an outlier. Like he never finished above wide receiver 14, then exploded for wide receiver 6. Like he only had 117 targets. Like that's just hard to replicate. He had 13 touchdowns, so he basically quadrupled any other number from any other year. Like it's very much an outlier year. I think in Dynasty, if you have him, you need to sell him. Matt, I think Matt was on this all last year. If they hold out, do not draft him. Like I don't want any NFL player to get injured, but it just happens when they hold out. Like NFL practice games are just really hard on the body. Like you have to prepare for that. So him holding out, we're 10 days away from training camp, and they're super far apart. So I would sell on Terry McLaurin. This wide receiver course scares the crap out of me because Deebo Samuel has not looked in shape. Is the best word I should put it at camp. So like the rookie stuff like that Matt is talking about, I think is spot on. Jalen Lane is a dude. He just wasn't used correctly. Was he at Virginia Tech?
I believe so. I will
So
tell you. I'll confirm here.
And Luke McCaffrey can be two goods that could step up. They have KJ Osborne, who I think is a really underrated wide receiver. Like, don't sleep on those two. Like, they got two old dudes at wide receivers. Hopefully, they invest in wide receiver next year. Man, Malik Neighbors on this team would be so fun. But that's not.
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah, and just know you won't get the stack with Daniels and McLaurin. Somebody's going to take Daniels early in the third, mid third, and somebody's going to take McLaurin in the third. He won't get back to you unless it's the end of the third, early fourth, maybe. But I don't see it, and I wouldn't advise doing it. So keep that in mind. And I don't know why I didn't come up with the rule, but for whatever reason, when players hold out, they tend to get injured. Just put that in your back pocket. So Jalen Lane, we talked about Deebo Samuel. This is the player. This is the interesting point, you guys. This is the one I kind of even put it on the description for the channel. This could be massive. Deebo Samuel is older. I get it. He's 29. He just turned 29. He's traded. People like, oh, he's washed. What he did in 49er world, whatever. I like what Cliff Kingsbury could potentially do with Deebo Samuel. He will be your gadget guy. He will be your. They might even throw him in the backfield once in a while. They're going to throw him on slants. They're going to try to get the ball in his hands. The reason why I say that, because they had brought in. They brought him in a couple years ago. Like I can't remember his name. Anyway, they brought in another receiver that was older, and they wanted to do the same thing, and they couldn't get it to happen.
Curtis Samuel.
Thank you. Curtis Samuel. Yes, he was the gadget guy. This is what Deebo Samuel's going to be. He's 29. He's not 30 yet, which is the break year for wide receivers. I know he looks a little chunky. I know that, it looks a little bit. I do like him. I like him for value in the 7th round. I have no problems getting him as my number 3 if you were in a 3 wide receivers set. As that number 3 with potential upside of 2. He could be your guy in this offense that could help them win this division. I really, 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 really like it, especially if McLaurin is holding out. So I'm hoping. I just like it, but man, it's set up perfectly for this season. But it could be massive. It really could. Justin, you agree, disagree? Me? You're like, no.
One thing I guess, but I had like an epiphany while Matt was talking. Like, I guess I didn't take this into mind. Like, I forgot what Deebo was when he did have that really good year in San Francisco. Like, he ran the ball a lot. And like that's another thing to take away from Eckler and Brian Robinson. Like maybe they like told him, hey, like put on some weight. We're probably gonna give you 60 carries, whatever it is. I don't have his carry numbers up for me. But just keep that in mind. Like he could run the ball a little bit more than we think. Like he could play a little bit more running back. maybe they use him as a Cordell Patterson type role, but with the Terry stuff holding out, Debo's there trying to build up some rapport with Jane Daniels. Like he might be the wide receiver one for a really, really good quarterback.
That was in 2021. Justin, he had 59 carries for 365 yards and 8 TDs. That's the year that you like wow. At the same time, he had 77 receptions, 77 receptions, 1,400 yards, and 6 TDs. So 14 TDs. I don't think he's going to get that.
No.
But give me half of that. Right? And I'm like, hey, there's something here for fantasy. So moving on down the road here with tight ends, Ertz, 20, 164 ADP, got him in the 14th round. We talked a lot about Ben Sinnott last year. He's 38, position rank 286, and he's really undrafted right now. I left him on here because I do think if Zach gets hurt, he will get it. And I think Zach's pretty.
He's up there.
I want to say 30. Oh yeah, I want to say like 32, but I'm gonna look real fast here.
I gotcha. Maybe I don't. Gotcha.
He's 34, and he's going to be 35 in November. So you see what I'm saying? He's up there. Still productive player, but I think Ben's going to be the guy that slips in there. So, and good, a great late round flyer, or just get him off waiver wires when things happen. Eagles again, 14-3. They were Super Bowl champs. It was good to see Barkley get his ring. I was super stoked for that. Justin, I believe you have them. It's 10-7, a little bit less. Again, they lose Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator, to the Saints. Give me your thoughts. The 10-7.
So I just kind of took the context. Coaching wise, they lose Kellen. They elevated their pass game coordinator. Vic Fangio goes back for a second year, and just like a weird pattern with his defenses. He's been a defensive coordinator since 1995, so almost as long as I've been born. Okay, so that's a really, really, really long time. Okay, every second year defense he has takes a really big step back. Like I'm not talking like 5 spots in total defense or scoring defense, but like 10 or 15 spots. So that's my first one. Breaking a new OC. We're gonna see if Jalen Hurts is really coordinator proof. I think that's always a big question. Is he a product of a system? Is the tush push his biggest thing? I think that's a big thing for me. They lose a couple dudes on both sides of the ball. Nothing crazy. Their O-line's still going to be nasty. They still have A.J. Brown. I think as much as I hate to say it, Saquon does take a big regression. I don't think he's a robot like everybody else. If you have, I think it's 450 touches and above, you just see this huge, massive regression as a running back. Plus, he's a little bit older, so I could see that happening as well. So it'll be kind of interesting. They invested a lot on the defense with Jahad Campbell, who has a shoulder injury. I don't know if he's going to come back. It'll be interesting. The Kobe Dean's still hurt with a knee injury, so they still have some questions at linebacker. Zach Bond had a heck of a year last year. But again, I do see a big regression in them this year. Their last Super Bowl win, they went 10-7 the year right after, so they had some mistakes. So
yeah, I agree. I think everything you just said. I have nothing to add to your statement. Let's just jump right into our players here. Hurts ranked 4, 35 ADP, 4th round. Are you willing to spend a 4th round pick on Hurts this season?
Like I said, I really want those big 3. I've never owned Jalen Hurts. He's just not a guy that I've tried to own. He's super consistent. Quarterback 9, 3, 2, 8. Again, I think Saquon takes a little bit from him with the rushing game, but I just not an owner, especially in those 4th round, 3rd round. That's kind of hard for me. So
yeah, name value here. So understand, position rank 4, ADP 35, 4th round. He finished as QB 8 last year. He was behind the guys of Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, Baker, right? So, and the big ones, Lamar and Allen. I don't think, I have a sneaky suspicion he'll finish behind Mahomes this year. So, and I can get Mahomes around later. So, hot take. I'm probably fading him. There's other guys that I like. I would think I'd rather have Bo Nix, and that's crazy. But I think I want Bo Nix over Hurts. Call me nuts, but it's very possible. Moving on, Barkley and Shipley. I have both of them in there. Barkley obviously is the takeaway here. Position rank 2, ADP is 4, so you got to spend a fourth overall pick. Got to get him in the first round. Shipley much later, 58, 187 in the 17th round. I do want to spend some time on Barkley a little bit because you did allude to it. He had a ton of carries. Justin, can you look up and see how many carries, how many times did he touch the ball in total last year? I'm talking not only carries but receptions. And if you'd like, you can include the playoffs, but you don't have to. I know that number is absolutely massive. It was an incredible uh, workload for him. And my worry, he was in standard, he was RB1. In half point, let me go to half point. Sorry, in half point, I believe he was RB2. Nope, he was in half point. He was RB1. I'm really thinking that this year he is going to fall behind Gibbs. He's going to fall behind Bijan Robinson, and there might be one more that sneaks up on him. So he could be again. He's not. It's not. He's going to get the workload. I'm not saying it's bad. I just don't think I want to spend my fourth overall pick on him when he might be the fifth best running back.
So he had 507 touches last year.
There you go. Touches. That's not carries, that's touches, that's receptions and carrying the ball. If you don't, that is massive, you guys. That is absolutely massive.
That's a lot of touches. Like, you just don't see a lot of running backs do that. Terrell Davis did it. Emmitt Smith did it. Jamal Anderson, Emmitt Smith. Like, again, that was in the 90s, guys. Like, we're a long ways from there. Like, this doesn't happen anymore. They just have a huge fall off. Like, I get it. Saquon's that dude. He's really good. All this stuff. He had 129 touches in the playoffs. Like, so that's so much closer to the season. Like, he does have wear and tear. Can you tell me who the first 5 picks are in drafts right now? Just so we can kind of compare. It should be Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson.
So in half point PPR, Jamar Chase, Bijan Robinson, Justin Jefferson, Barkley going 4, CeeDee Lamb going 5, Gibbs going 6, Malik. In this one, we had him 11, but he's going 7. Puka at 8, Amon-Ra at 9, Genty at 10, and McCaffrey and Nico round out 12, 11 and 12.
There's maybe 2 guys I don't know. I think there's 10 guys I would take above it, which is tough.
Yeah.
He scares the crap out of me.
I agree, and we'll leave it at that. Again, it's not that we hate Barkley. We love Barkley. So proud he got his ring. He earned every bit of it with all the touches. But I just want to fade him with the 4th overall pick. If he slid further to the back end of the first round, okay, right? 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, okay. Not in the early. I would much rather have Bijan or Gibbs there. That's just my take on it.
Take Genty there, baby.
Or you can take Genty. I know you love Genty. Go get Genty. Justin's been preaching it. Wide receivers. A.J. Brown is 10. ADP 7th. You got to get him in the 2nd round. Devontae Smith, position 26th. ADP is 51. 5th rounder. Dotson I put up there. I'm not even going to. He's 285 overall. He hasn't really done much since he's got in the league, which has been a little bit frustrating. But Justin, what are you doing with these 2 wide receivers now that Kellen Moore is gone and A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith?
So this is kind of my bold take with this team. I think Devontae Smith takes the mantle from AJ this year. I think this is the year where we see that kind of passing the torch. AJ had a little bit of off-season noise about him wanting to get traded. He wasn't happy. That came out like maybe 2 months after the Super Bowl. It's like, you guys won the Super Bowl and you're still not happy. Like, I don't know how much you could do. I think Devontae Smith, the draft prospect that he was, the player that he is, I think he could take that mantle from him this year. Again, A.J. Brown got beat up a little bit last year. Devontae Smith finished with 89 targets, 68 receptions, 833 yards. Again, they're not going to get a ton of targets. They're not going to do a ton of receptions. It's all going to have to be touchdowns for them, especially with Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley running the ball so much.
Yeah, A.J. Brown's interesting for me. He's 28. He just turned 28. I still like him, although he's the one reading his book, right? Like on the sideline, not paying attention, whatever. Those rumors. They got a Super Bowl. He did miss, I think, 3 or 4 games last year.
Yep.
This is the first year, other than his rookie year. Again, speaking last year, he had less than 100 targets. He still was over 1,000 yards and had 7 TDs. But it was very much the Barkley show in this offense. Very, very much so. Hence the 500 and some carries. So I don't know. 5th round or 2nd round for AJ Brown, probably not for me. I'm passing. Devontae Smith, 20 or 51 overall, 5th round. Yeah, okay. I think there's some value there depending on how I built my roster. But yeah, I'd be okay with Devontae Smith. I always liked him a lot. I really liked him when he was with Kellen Moore, because Kellen Moore liked to throw middle type stuff. I need to look at his stats real fast. And bear with us here. Sorry for a little bit of dead air. Yeah, again, so not much different. 89 targets, less than 1,000 yards, 833, what you said, and 8 TDs. So again, I certainly think there is opportunity for Devontae Smith to take a little bit of a step forward again, and he is 2 years younger. He'll turn 27 in November. So
Yep.
Dallas Goedert is Mr. Consistent. I think he is old too, to be honest.
He's 30. He's 30.
Is he just turned 30? Yep. He's 30 years old, but has been a really good wide receiver. I want to see where he finished last year off the top. So
In the half PPR, he was tight end 27.
Yeah.
But he played 10 games, so he missed 7.
Yeah, that's tough. I think there's other tight ends I like better than Goddard, but he has been. If you need somebody, you can get him. Especially if there is a second tight end, it's okay.
You have to be like real honest with yourself, real conversation. Like, he is the 4th option of this offense, behind Saquon, behind AJ, behind Devontae Smith. There were a lot of rumblings that they were trying to get off of him during the draft. They just didn't find a trade partner, didn't work out. There is a guy that I would like for them to try to tight end, but I don't think they will. They on the depth chart, he's still listed as wide receiver. Johnny Wilson out of Florida State. He played with Keon Coleman. He is a huge dude. He's 6'6", 228, just a huge dude. He played a little bit last year. I think they are looking to pivot off of Dallas Goedert. He restructured his contract to stay there. But again, I don't love him this year.
Yeah, fair. I do want to be clear. It's not like we don't like any of these players. We love a lot of these players. Again, it's all about value. We're not saying the Philadelphia Eagles are terrible. They're still a very, very, very good team. I just don't know if I like them at their value. They're coming off the Super Bowl hangover, which is always tough. So keep that in mind, which Justin alluded to. So, 1, 2, 4. How'd we do? You guys agree? Disagree? Leave a comment in there. We want to know your thoughts. And again, all we're wanting to make sure is you win your fantasy football leagues. We love talking football. It's just fun. Heck, Justin and I do it year round. We have a couple of leagues we're in with a bunch of friends, and we banter all the time. And that's the best part about fantasy football, is having a good time and then having the bragging rights to know you were correct and you listen to our show and we give you all the answers to the test. So leave a comment. Love to hear from you, and make sure you subscribe and like the channel. So, well, Justin, that's going to wrap it up for our show tonight. Any final words from your end?
So the number the death curse they want to talk about when it comes to Saquon Barkley. So he has 2 of them, because I think he rushed for, maybe Matt can look up his total rushing yards because I can't remember. But it's 370 carries. Okay? So he had 507 carries, which is astronomical. Like, they used him as a workhorse in the playoffs. Like, you guys just have to be aware of that. Like, everything decreases substantially when it comes to having that many carries. Like, that's just how it is. They usually get hurt that season. There is a huge decline in touchdowns, rushing attempts, rushing yards. Like, all those things are huge. They, on average, play 3 less games, have 179 less carries, gain 800 yards less. It's just a really big thing. Like, that's just how it happens. That's just the analytics behind it. It happens every single time the year after.
Yeah, 345 plus 91, so it's up there. Yeah, it's nearly 400 some just carries plus the postseason, not catches. So So he's well over.
What was his total rushing yards? You have that up there. At least what he had
for
season.
2,000 rushing yards. He had 205. He got the 2,000.
It's just tough. Like it's the 370 plus the 1,800 yards rushing. Those are just really big outliers that you go back. I think the only person to have a decent year after that was AP, but AP was kind of a freak. He came back from ACL in like 6 months because he's a freak of nature.
Yeah, I love it when people reference AP. Well, AP did it. I'm like, you don't understand. That guy was a machine. He was so different. He's completely different. So, next week, Justin, what conference are we got? We're going to cover this again.
The conference, the worst conference in the league, baby. Let's go.
We're going to cover the NFC South.
If there's one division I read about every day, it is the NFC South. If there's one team I read about every day, it is the Atlanta Falcons. So I think they're fantasy relevant. If Penix is that guy, but we'll see. Kirk Cousins could be coming to a different team. We'll see. Maybe your quarterback gets hurt. We trade him. Maybe you give us a first-round pick. Who knows? Let's make a deal.
Yeah, who knows? We're going to cover all of that next week. Give you the answers give you the cheat sheet to the test. Give you the answers to the test. After that, we're going to be doing some mock drafting. You're going to see us mock draft a lot, and we want you guys involved in our mock draft. It's fun to see how people build, and we'll do that all whip. We are not too far away from drafts. Honestly, we are probably a month and a half, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and people are going to be drafting. And certainly, if you're drafting in places like Underdog, in states that you can do that, you're already drafting. You've been having a lot of fun with it. Fortunately, we don't get to do that in our area, but all those other leagues, when the regular season, all the garage leagues, as we call them, start kicking in, it'll be in about 6 weeks, 5 weeks. So until next time, we will see you next time. Have a wonderful evening and have a good night.